Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil, and in this React.js video tutorial we'll understand the file and folder structure of React application. Just 2 videos ago we created a React application with the help of create React app, and then we are just using it on the 3000 port with the help of npm start command. And we will understand these file and folder structure so that we can just get familiar with the complete structure, and we will just get to know that what is the use of package.json file, why we just created this public folder, what is the node modules, and you can easily just get to know where you need to write the code in your application or where you should not write your code and all, right? So these are the points of this video. We will understand the file structure and the use of file, folder structure and its use. Then I will ask you an interview question, and I will provide you the answer of the question which I asked in the previous video. And this is my Instagram account if you want to join me on Insta. So first of all, let's talk about the package.json file, which is the most important file in your front-end application. Basically, it's not only about the React. Yes, this is also most important file in the React also, but similarly you will find the package.json file inside Angular also and Vue also. And what it actually do, it will just keep the detail of your application, like application name, library which is used by your application, and commands that is used by your application, kind of things, right? And you will find yes, one more thing. In the previous video I asked the question that how you can check your current React version. So from the package.json you can check your current React version, and here it is, right? So you can just open your React application and you can check inside the package.json. Yes, if you are checking it after 2 or 3 months of this video creating time, then you may just find the version might be different, or after 1 or 2 years then you will just find a huge difference in this React version, right? All right, so the next file is package.log.json. So in the most of the interviews they ask the question that what is the difference in both of them, like difference between package log and the package.json. So it will just keep the detail of your application, and package.log will keep the detail of your libraries or your dependencies, right? Dependencies simply means these dependencies, right? Here you can see that so we have these libraries, and the libraries we also call the dependencies, right? And it will just take the you can say that the deep detail of your libraries or dependencies. Like here you will just find the application name or library name, but here you will find that the version, current version, then resolver, that means the link of this library, and integrity, which is encrypted key. After that the required, that means if this package have some dependencies on the another package also, right? So it have the huge code in this file. And one more thing, as a developer we never write any kind of code inside the package.log.json. We always write the package.json code inside the package.json, and we just start it with the npm install. We will just do the npm install, and the all entries and logs are automatically done inside the log.json file, right? And after that you will just find the readme file, which is just for instruction and kind of things, which is not directly related with the React, so we can ignore it. And git ignore, it will just relate to the git, and again this is not related to the React, and it will just tell that what folders and what file we should not commit and kind of things, right? So we can just make entries here. So like we never just push the node module on the git, that's why we just make an entry here, right? Then okay, so let me collapse it, and now you will just find that the src folder. In the src folder, index.js file is the first file which is loaded here as an React file, right? And all React module or components are directly or indirectly embedded here, right? You can see that the app.js is our first component, and which is imported here, right? And how this file is actually connected with our web browser is I'll tell you that it will just connected with the ID of the root, right? And this ID will automatically find inside the index.html, right? Here you can see that. So all React code will be injected inside this div via this id, and if we just remove this id or we rename this id, then we must have to rename this id here also, otherwise we will just get to an error, right? So this is, you can see that our first loaded React file. After that you will just find some css file which is obviously used for style, right, app and css, and app.js our first component. We can make the more component here, more folders here for the components, and we can just write the similar kind of components and more complex also. And app.test.js is basically used for unit testing. If you don't know about the unit testing, then don't worry, this is you can say that a very advanced topic, and on a beginner level which is not required. Even in the 80% projects we never write the unit test cases, right? So don't worry about that. Again we have a logo, so this is basically a image file, you can see that, so we don't need to discuss about. Report web vitals, which is used for check the performance your application, that how fast or how slow your application is actually working, and this is actually imported inside index.js here, right? Here you can just read out these comments, and for more detail you can just go with this line, but as a developer there is a very few chance then that you would just use this report actually, right? Most of the developers actually remove this file. Then setup.test.js is basically used for setup the unit test cases, so this is not much more important. So what file are important inside this src folder? App and index are most important file, right? And then now let's jump on a public file. So yes, all React code only be present inside the src folder, right? In the public folder we will just have some html and some files, like this is our first html page, and after that we have two images, which is you can see that kind of logo, right? Here you can see. And after that manifest.json, which we call metadata files. In case of React we don't use it. When we will use it when we just create the progressive web apps, and so that you can say that this is again not related to the react.js. So robots.txt is directly used for allow or disallow to the Google to just crawling on our website. So this is again not related to the React. And that's all. And the node modules are basically the libraries which is required for our application. So here you can see that there is a lots of file. And so in this video we have an interview question, is that why we don't push our node modules folder on a git, and if we do not push this code here, then how can another developer will just get these node modules or library dependencies and all, right? So you can attempt this question in the comment box also. So which is the most important file? Let's look at once again package.json, and then index, then app.js. These are the three most important files. Otherwise the other files if you want to remove, then you can remove, there is no much requirement. And node modules, and in this node modules the all libraries are present here, like React, Babel, all kind of things, right? And we do our all React code inside the src folder. So that's all for this video, and I already asked the question that why we should not push, or we don't push node module inside the GitHub library, GitHub repository. You can attempt this question. So if you have any question again, then you can ask me in the comment box. And thanks for watching this video. Bye bye, take care.